You are what you are every moment of your life, but you are never conscious of it except maybe at the point of awakening from sleep. Can you sit on the floor? Do you need a pillow? Have you any questions to ask? Not that you need to ask, you can as well be quiet. To be, just be is important. You need not ask anything, nor do anything. Such apparently lazy way of spending time is highly regarded in India. It means that for the time being you are free from the obsession with what's next. When you are not in a hurry and the mind is free from anxieties, it becomes quiet, and in the silence, something may be heard which is ordinarily too fine and subtle for perception. The mind must be open and quiet to see. What we are trying to do here is to bring our minds into the right state for understanding what is real. How do we learn to cut our worries? You need not worry about your worries. Just be. Do not try to be quiet. Do not make being quiet into a task to be performed. Don't be restless about being quiet, miserable about being happy. Just be aware that you are, and remain aware. Don't say, yes, I am. What next? There is no next in I am. It is a timeless state. If it is a timeless state, will it assert itself anyhow? You are what you are, timelessly, but of what use is it to you unless you know it and act on it? Your begging bowl may be of pure gold, but as long as you do not know it, you are a pauper. You must know your inner worth and trust it and express it in the daily sacrifice of desire and fear. If I know myself, shall I not desire and fear? For some time the mental habits may linger in spite of the new vision, the habit of longing for the known past and fearing the unknown future. When you know these are of the mind only, you can go beyond them. As long as you have all sorts of ideas about yourself, you know yourself through the mist of these ideas. To know yourself as you are, give up all ideas. You cannot imagine the taste of pure water, you can only discover it by abandoning all flavorings. As long as you are interested in your present way of living, you will not abandon it. Discovery cannot come as long as you cling to the familiar. It is only when you realize fully the immense sorrow of your life and revolt against it that a way out can be found. I can now see the secret of India's eternal life lies in these dimensions of existence, of which India was always the custodian. It is an open secret, and there are always people willing and ready to share it. Teachers, there are many. Fearless disciples, very few. I am quite willing to learn. Learning words is not enough. You know the theory, but without the actual experience of yourself as the impersonal and unqualified center of being, love and bliss, mere verbal knowledge, is sterile. Then what am I to do? Try to be, only to be. The all-important word is try. Allot enough time daily for sitting quietly and trying, just trying, to go beyond the personality, with its addictions and obsessions. Don't ask how. It cannot be explained. You just keep on trying until you succeed. If you persevere, there can be no failure. What matters supremely is sincerity, earnestness. You must really have had surfeit of being the person you are. Now see the urgent need of being free of this unnecessary self-identification with a bundle of memories and habits. This steady resistance against the unnecessary is the secret of success. After all, you are what you are every moment of your life, but you are never conscious of it except maybe at the point of awakening from sleep. All you need is to be aware of being, not as a verbal statement, but as an ever-present fact. The awareness that you are will open your eyes to what you are. It is all very simple. First of all, establish a constant contact with yourself. Be with yourself all the time. Into self-awareness, all blessings flow. Begin as a center of observation, deliberate cognizance, and grow into a center of love in action. I am is a tiny seed which will grow into a mighty tree, quite naturally, without a trace of effort. I see so much evil in myself. Must I not change it? Evil is the shadow of inattention. In the light of self-awareness, it will wither and fall off. All dependence on another is futile, for what others can give, others will take away. Only what is your own at the start will remain your own in the end. Accept no guidance but from within, and even then sift out all memories, for they will mislead you. Even if you are quite ignorant of the ways and means, keep quiet and look within. Guidance is sure to come. You are never left without knowing what your next step should be. The trouble is that you may shirk it. The Guru is there for giving you courage because of his experience and success. But only what you discover through your own awareness, your own effort, will be of permanent use to you. Remember, nothing you perceive is your own. Nothing of value can come to you from the outside. It is only your own feeling and understanding that are relevant and revealing. Words, heard or read, will only create images in your mind, but you are not a mental image. You are the power of perception and action behind and beyond the image. You seem to advise me to be self-centered to the point of egoism. Must I not yield even to my interest in other people? Your interest in others is egotistic, self-concerned, self-oriented. You are not interested in others as persons, but only as far as they enrich or ennoble your own image of yourself. And the ultimate in selfishness is to care only for the protection, preservation, and multiplication of one's own body. By body, I mean all that is related to your name and shape, your family, tribe, country, race, etc. To be attached to one's name and shape is selfishness. A man who knows that he is neither body nor mind cannot be selfish, for he has nothing to be selfish for. Or you may say he is equally selfish on behalf of everybody he meets. Everybody's welfare is his own. The feeling, I am the world is myself, becomes quite natural. Once it is established, there is just no way of being selfish. To be selfish means to covet, acquire, accumulate on behalf of the part against the whole. One may be rich with many possessions by inheritance or marriage or just good luck. If you do not hold on to, it will be taken away from you. In your present state, can you love another person as a person? I am the other person. The other person is myself. In name and shape, we are different, but there is no separation. At the root of our being, we are one. Is it not so where there is love between people? It is, but they are not conscious of it. They feel the attraction but do not know the reason. Why is love selective? Love is not selective. Desire is selective. In love there are no strangers. When the center of selfishness is no longer, all desires for pleasure and fear of pain cease. One is no longer interested in being happy. Beyond happiness, there is pure intensity, inexhaustible energy, the ecstasy of giving from a perennial source. Mustn't I begin by solving for myself the problem of right and wrong? What is pleasant people take to be good, and what is painful they take to be bad. Yes, that is how it is with us, ordinary people. But how is it with you, at the level of oneness? For you, what is good and what is bad? What increases suffering is bad, and what removes it is good. So you deny goodness to suffering itself. There are religions in which suffering is considered good and noble. Karma or destiny is an expression of a beneficial law, the universal trend towards balance, harmony, and unity. At every moment, whatever happens now is for the best. It may appear painful and ugly, a suffering bitter and meaningless, yet considering the past and the future, it is for the best, as the only way out of a disastrous situation. Does one suffer only for one's own sins? One suffers along with one thinks oneself to be. If you feel one with humanity, you suffer with humanity. And since you claim to be one with the sufferers, there is no limit in time or space to your suffering. To be is to suffer. The narrower the circle of my self-identification, the more acute the suffering caused by desire and fear. Christianity accepts suffering as purifying and ennobling, while Hinduism looks at it with distaste. Christianity is one way of putting words together, and Hinduism is another. The real, behind and beyond words, incommunicable, directly experienced, explosive in its effect on the mind. It is easily had when nothing else is wanted. The innards created by imagination and perpetuated by desire. Can there be no suffering that is necessary and good? Accidental or incidental pain is inevitable and transitory. Deliberate pain inflicted with even the best of intentions is meaningless and cruel. You would not punish crime? Punishment is but legalized crime. In a society built on prevention rather than retaliation, there would be very little crime. The few exceptions will be treated medically, as of sound mind and body. You seem to have little use for religion. What is religion? A cloud in the sky? I live in the sky, not in the clouds, which are so many words held together. Remove the verbiage, and what remains? Truth remains. My home is in the unchangeable, which appears to be a state of constant reconciliation and integration of opposites. People come here to learn about the actual existence of such a state, the obstacles to its emergence, and once perceived, the art of stabilizing it in consciousness, so that there is no clash between understanding and living. The state itself is beyond the mind and need not be learnt. The mind can only focus the obstacles. Seeing an obstacle as an obstacle is effective, because it is the mind acting on the mind. Begin from the beginning. Give attention to the fact that you are. At no time can you say, I was not. Or you can say, I do not remember. You know now how unreliable is memory. Accept that. Engrossed in petty personal affairs, you have forgotten what you are. Try to bring back the lost memory through the elimination of the known. You cannot be told what will happen, nor is it desirable. Anticipation will create illusions. In the inner search, the unexpected is inevitable. The discovery is invariably beyond all imagination. Just as an unborn child cannot know life after birth, for it has nothing in its mind with which to form a valid picture, so is the mind unable to think of the real in terms of the unreal, except by negation. Not this, not that. The acceptance of the unreal as real is the obstacle. To see the false as false and abandon the false brings reality into being. The states of utter clarity, immense love, utter fearlessness, these are mere words at the present, outlines without color, hints at what can be. You are like a blind man, expecting to see as a result of an operation, provided you do not shirk the operation. The state I am in, words do not matter at all. Nor is there any addiction to words. Only facts matter. There can be no religion without words. Recorded religions are mere heaps of verbiage. Religions show their true face in action and silent action. To know what man believes, watch how he acts. For most of the people, service of their bodies and their minds is their religion. They may have religious ideas, but they do not act on them. They play with them. They are often very fond of them, but they will not act on them. Words are needed for communication. For exchange of information, yes. But real communication between people is not verbal. For establishing and maintaining relationship, affectionate awareness, expressed in direct action, is required. Not what you say, but what you do is that matters. Words are made by the mind and are meaningful only on the level of the mind. The word bread, neither can you eat nor live by it. It merely conveys an idea. It requires meaning only with the actual eating. In the same sense, am I telling you that the normal state is not verbal? I may say it is wise love expressed in action, but these words convey little, unless you experience them in their fullness and beauty. Words have their limited usefulness, but we put no limits to them and bring ourselves to the brink of disaster. Our noble ideas are finally balanced by ignoble actions. We talk of God, truth, and love, but instead of direct experience, we have definitions. Instead of enlarging and deepening action, we chisel our definitions, and we imagine that we know what we can define. How can one convey experience except through words? Experience cannot be conveyed through words. It comes with action. A man who is intense in his experience will radiate confidence and courage. Others too will act and gain experience born out of action. Verbal teaching has its use. It prepares the mind for voiding itself of its accumulations. A level of mental maturity is reached when nothing external is of any value, and the heart is ready to relinquish all. Then the real has a chance, and it grasps it. Delays, if any, are caused by the mind being unwilling to see or to discard. Are we so totally alone? Oh, no, we are not. Those who have can give, and such givers are many. The world itself is a supreme gift, maintained by loving sacrifice. But the right receivers, wise and humble, are so few. Ask, and you shall be given, is the eternal law. So many words you have learned, so many you have spoken. You know everything, but you do not know yourself, for the self is not known through words. Only direct insight will reveal it. Look within. Search within. It is very difficult to abandon words. Our mental life is one continuous stream of words. It is not a matter of easy or difficult. You have no alternative. Either you try or you don't. It is up to you. I have tried many times and failed. Try again. If you keep on trying, something may happen. But if you don't, you are stuck. You may know all the right words, quote the scriptures, be brilliant in your discussions, and yet remain a bag of bones. Or you may be inconspicuous and humble, an insignificant person altogether, yet glowing with loving kindness and deep wisdom. Remove and abandon your wrong ideas about yourself. I have been moving from place to place, investigating the various yogas available for practice, and I could not decide which will suit me best. I should be thankful for some competent advice. At present, as a result of all this searching, I am just tired of the idea of finding truth. It seems to me both unnecessary and troublesome. Life is enjoyable as it is, and I see no purpose in improving on it. You are welcome to stay in your contentment, but can you? Youth, vigor, money, all will pass away sooner than you expect. Sorrow, shunned so far, will pursue you. If you want to be beyond suffering, you must meet it halfway and embrace it. Relinquish your habits and addictions. Live a simple and sober life. Don't hurt a living being. This is the foundation of yoga. To find reality, you must be real in the smallest daily action. There can be no deceit in the search for truth. You say you find your life enjoyable. Maybe it is, at present, but who enjoys it? I confess I do not know the enjoyer nor the enjoyed. I only know the enjoyment. Quite right, but enjoyment is a state of mind. It comes and goes. Its very impermanence makes it perceivable. You cannot be conscious of what does not change. All consciousness is consciousness of change. But the very perception of change, does it not necessitate a changeless background? Not at all. The memory of the last state compared to the actuality of the present state gives the experience of change. Between the remembered and the actual, there is a basic difference which can be observed from moment to moment. At no point of time is the actual the remembered. Between the two there is a difference in kind, not merely in intensity. The actual is unmistakably so. By no effort of will or imagination can you interchange the two. Now, what is it that gives this unique quality to the actual? The actual is real, while there is a good deal of uncertainty about the remembered. Quite so, but why? A moment back the remembered was actual. In a moment the actual will be the remembered. What makes the actual unique? Obviously, it is your sense of being present. In memory and anticipation, there is a clear feeling that it is a mental state under observation, while in the actual, the feeling is primarily of being present and aware. Yes, I can see. It is awareness that makes the difference between the actual and the remembered. One thinks of the past or the future, but one is present in the now. Wherever you go, the sense of here and now you carry with you all the time. It means that you are independent of space and time, that space and time are in you, not you in them. It is your self-identification with the body, which of course is limited in space and time. That gives you the feeling of finiteness. In reality, you are infinite and eternal. This infinite and eternal self of mine, how am I to know it? The self you want to know, is it some second self? Are you made of several selves? Surely there is only one self, and you are that self. The self you are is the only self there is. Remove and abandon your wrong ideas about yourself, and there it is in all its glory. It is only your mind that prevents self-knowledge. How am I to be rid of the mind? And is life without mind at all possible on the human level? There is no such thing as mind. There are ideas, and some of them are wrong. Abandon the wrong ideas, for they are false and obstruct your vision of yourself. Which ideas are wrong and which are true? Assertions are usually wrong and denials, right? One cannot live by denying everything. Only by denying can one live. Assertion is bondage. To question and deny is necessary. It is the essence of revolt, and without revolt there can be no freedom. There is no second or higher self to search for. You are the highest self. Only give up the false ideas you have about yourself. Both faith and reason tell you that you are neither the body, nor its desires and fears, nor are you the mind with its fanciful ideas, nor the role society compels you to play, the person you are supposed to be. Give up the false, and the true will come into its own. You say you want to know yourself. You are yourself. You cannot be anything but what you are. Is knowing separate from being? Whatever you can know with your mind is of the mind, not you. About yourself you can only say, I am aware. I like it. I find being alive a painful state. You cannot be alive, for you are life itself. It is the person you imagine yourself to be that suffers, not you. Dissolve it in awareness. It is merely a bundle of memories and habits. From the awareness of the unreal to the awareness of your real nature, there is a chasm which you will easily cross once you have mastered the art of pure awareness. All I know is that I do not know myself. How do you know that you do not know yourself? Your direct insight tells you that yourself you know first, for nothing exists to you without your being there to experience its existence. You imagine you do not know yourself because you cannot describe yourself. You can always say, I know that I am, and you will refuse as true the statement, I am not. But whatever can be described cannot be yourself, and what you are cannot be described. You can only know yourself by being yourself without any attempt at self-definition and self-description. Once you have understood that you are nothing perceivable or conceivable, that whatever appears in the field of consciousness cannot be yourself, you will apply yourself to the eradication of all self-identification as the only way that you can take to a deeper realization of yourself. You literally progress by rejection, a veritable rocket. To know that you are neither in the body nor in the mind, though aware of both, is already self-knowledge. If I am neither the body nor the mind, how am I aware of them? How can I perceive something quite foreign to myself? Nothing is me is the first step. Everything is me is the next. Both hang on the idea there is a world. When this too is given up, you remain what you are, the non-dual self. You are here and now, but your vision is obstructed by your false ideas about yourself. Well, I admit that I am, I was, I shall be, at least from birth to death. I have no doubts of my being here and now, but I find that it is not quite enough. My life lacks joy, born of harmony between the inner and the outer. If I alone am, and the world is merely a projection, then why is there disharmony? You create disharmony and then complain. When you desire and fear and identify yourself with your feelings, you create sorrow and bondage. When you create with love and wisdom and remain unattached to your creations, the result is harmony and peace. But whatever be the condition of your mind, in what way does it reflect on you? It is only your self-identification with your mind that makes you happy or unhappy. Rebel against your slavery to your mind. See your bonds as self-created and break the chains of attachment and revulsion. Keep in mind your goal of freedom until it dawns on you that you are already free. That freedom is not something in the distant future to be earned with painful efforts, but perennally, one's own, to be used. Liberation is not an acquisition, but a matter of courage. The courage to believe that you are free already and to act on it. I do as I like, I shall have to suffer. Nevertheless, you are free. The consequences of your action will depend on the society in which you live and its conventions. I may act recklessly. Along with courage will emerge wisdom and compassion and skill in action. You will know what to do, and whatever you do will be good for all. I find that the various aspects of myself are at war between themselves, and there is no peace in me. Where are freedom and courage, wisdom and compassion? My actions merely increase the chasm in which I exist. It is also because you take yourself to be somebody or something. Stop, look, investigate, ask the right questions, come to the right conclusions, and have the courage to act on them and see what happens. The first steps may bring the roof down on your head, but soon the commotion will clear and there will be peace and joy. You know so many things about yourself, but the knower you do not know. Find out who you are, the knower of the known. Look within diligently. Remember that the perceived cannot be the perceiver. Whatever you see, hear, or think of, remember, you are not what happens. You are he to whom it happens. Delve deeply into the sense I am, and you will surely discover that the perceiving center is universal as the light that illumines the world. All that happens in the universe happens to you, the silent witness. On the other hand, whatever is done by you, the universal and inexhaustible energy. It is, no doubt, very gratifying to hear that one is the silent witness as well as the universal energy. But how is one to cross over from a verbal statement to direct knowledge? Hearing is not knowing. Before you can know anything directly, non-verbally you must know the knower. So far, you took the mind for the knower, but it is not so. The mind clogs you up with images and ideas, which leave scars in memory. You take remembering to be knowledge. True knowledge is ever fresh, new, unexpected. It wells up from within. When you know what you are, you also are what you know. Between knowing and being there is no gap. I can only investigate the mind with the mind. By all means, use your mind to know your mind. It is perfectly legitimate and also the best preparation for going beyond the mind. Being, knowing, and enjoying is your own. First, realize your own being. This is easy because the sense I am is always with you. Then meet yourself as the knower, apart from the known. Once you know yourself as pure being, the ecstasy of freedom is your own. Which yoga is this? Why worry? What makes you come here is your being displeased with your life as you know it, the life of your body and mind. You may try to improve them through controlling and bending them to an ideal, or you may cut the knot of self-identification altogether and look at your body and mind as something that happens without committing you in any way. Shall I call the way of control and discipline Raja Yoga, and the way of detachment Jnana Yoga, and the worship of an ideal Bhakti Yoga? If it pleases you, words indicate but do not explain. What I teach is the ancient and simple way of liberation through understanding. Understand your own mind, and its hold on you will snap. The mind misunderstands. Misunderstanding is its very nature. Right understanding is the only remedy, whatever name you give it. It is the earliest and also the latest, for it deals with the mind as it is. Nothing you do will change you, for you need no change. You may change your mind or your body, but it is always something external to you that is changed, not yourself. Why bother at all to change? Realize once for all that neither your body nor your mind nor even your consciousness is yourself, and stand alone in your true nature beyond consciousness and unconsciousness. No effort can take you there, only the clarity of understanding. Trace your misunderstandings and abandon them. That is all. There is nothing to seek and find, for there is nothing lost. Relax and watch the I am. Reality is just behind it. Keep quiet. Keep silent. It will emerge, or rather it will take you in. Must I not get rid of my body and mind first? You cannot, for the very idea binds you to them. Just understand and disregard. I am unable to disregard, for I am not integrated. Imagine you are completely integrated, your thought and action fully coordinated. How will it help you? It will not free you from mistaking yourself to be the body or the mind. See them correctly as not you. That is all. Do you want me to remember to forget? Yes, it looks so. Yet it is not hopeless. You can do it. Just set about in earnest. Your blind groping is full of promise. Your very searching is the finding. You cannot fail. Because we are disintegrated, we suffer. We shall suffer as long as our thoughts and actions are prompted by desires and fears. See their futility, and the danger and chaos they create will subside. Don't try to reform yourself. Just see the futility of all change. The changeful keeps on changing, while the changeless is waiting. Do not expect the changeful to take you to the changeless. It can never happen. Only when the very idea of changing is seen as false and abandoned, the changeless can come into its own. Everywhere I go, I am told that I must change profoundly before I can see the real. This process of deliberate, self-imposed change is called yoga. All change affects the mind only. To be what you are, you must go beyond the mind into your own being. It is immaterial what is the mind that you leave behind, provided you leave it behind for good. This, again, is not possible without self-realization. What comes first, the abandoning of the mind or self-realization? Self-realization definitely comes first. The mind cannot go beyond itself by itself. It must explode. No exploration before explosion? The explosive power comes from the real. But you are well advised to have your mind ready for it. Fear can always delay it until another opportunity arises. I thought there is always a chance. In theory, yes. In practice, a situation must arise when all the factors necessary for self-realization are present. This need not discourage you. Your dwelling on the fact of I am will soon create another chance, for attitude attracts opportunity. All you know is second-hand. Only I am is first-hand and needs no proof. Stay with it.